Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. I am back with another side hustle for you. This is more of a side hustle where you use your own oomph with it. And what I mean by that is, have you ever wanted to create a podcast and really didn't know how to start off and how to go about it? Tune in. First off, I like to give thanks to Two Chicks with the Side Hustle, as I always do. Without you guys, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And to go ahead and check them out on YouTube, Two Chicks with the Side Hustle, Work from Home Hacker. Kenny gives great tips as well, so go check him out. So let's jump into it. So this is for people who always kind of wanted to consider doing podcasting, but they were not sure how to get started or where to go to get started. Let's jump right in. So this is anchor.fm, okay? So you'll go to anchor.fm. You're going to get started at the right hand corner. You're going to create an account. Now, I suggest that when you create an account, you create an email that is just for this particular podcast. That way, if you do, or when you do, shall I say, have subscribers, and you might have certain things where you want them to contact you, you wouldn't want to have Big Booty Judy on your podcast email. So make sure that it's professional and make sure that it's specific to your podcast. So you're going to fill out the information and sign up. Okay, so then make sure that you verify your email after you sign up. And so it says, Welcome to Anchor. So let's do it. So you're going to make your first episode. Tip: if you're not totally ready to commit, try making a shorter trailer to get your podcast out there. So you want it to jump off so you get subscribers. You want people to be interested in it and be interested to share with others, right? And then you set up your podcast, choose a name, cover art. Don't have it all figured out yet. You can always change that later. Distribute your podcast. So once you have an episode, we'll help you distribute your podcast everywhere, including Apple and Spotify. And below that, it just shows you how to set up your payment, because you will get paid depending on how many people listen to your podcast. Okay. So, tips for creating a podcast: you want to plan accordingly. When making the decision and commitment to a podcast, it is important to think beyond the moment. Before starting, think about the time the podcast will take. So, how long do you want to have a podcast for? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour. It really doesn't matter. I will say this: the best podcasts are shorter, because a lot of times you want to get right to the point. Okay. So plan your content. Now it's time to map out the most important aspect of your podcast: the content. Podcasts are no exception. Content is key. You want to make sure that it engages your audience. You want to make sure that what you're talking about, they want to listen to it. Because if you start talking and you get sidetracked, then you might lose your listeners, okay? So you want to optimize your podcast. Podcast titles should be optimized to incorporate data that relates to the content of the podcast. Think about the themes when selecting a podcast channel: title and description. So you don't want to just, if you're talking about relationships, you want that title to specifically talk about relationships, and then you want to give them a brief description as to what you are talking about in that particular podcast episode. Next, brand your podcast. So now that you've chosen your topic, it's time to start crafting your podcast. Just like creating products or services, your podcast is its own brand. So your podcast will be your own particular brand. You don't want to rush into this. You might want to get a notebook, and you might want to list your steps out. You want to see what you want to talk about. Think of the name of it, how long your episodes will be. How often do you want to post a video, or excuse me, not video in this thing, but how often do you want to do it? Do you want to post daily? Do you want to do it once a week? What time of the week do you want to do it? All that plays a factor in this, okay? Original content. Just like any media company, in order to attract and maintain an audience, you will need to provide original content, or at the very least, present the content in an original way. So, most of the content out there is not original, but don't just copy and paste it. You want to make it to where it's your own. and give credit where credit is due, okay? And get to the point. Get to the point. Jibber jabber is fun, but not to the point of excluding quality content. Listeners in today's society don't have time for rambling. I'm the type of person, for instance, if I go on YouTube and I want a how-to video, I don't want to hear anyone talking about what their grandma, their grandpa, their auntie, or whoever did. Get to the point. Sometimes you have to, give brief descriptions or talk about something so people can understand what it is that you're referring to. But generally, get to the point. Don't draw out your podcast thinking it has to be 30, 40, 50 minutes. Sometimes the best podcasts are 5 to 10 minutes long because you're giving great detail and you're on and off. A lot of people don't have time to hear or try to fast forward to see when you're getting to the actual content, okay? And do your homework. Not only is faulty information a liability, but incorrect information will hurt a broadcaster's long-term reputation. Just like a journalist's credibility is paramount to their success. So you want to make sure that the information that you're giving is as accurate as possible. You don't want to hurt your reputation. People are not going to want to listen to you, okay? So this will be a very good side hustle. I know a lot of you guys have a lot of good information out there, and joining the Two Chicks with the Side Hustles live, a lot of you guys are looking into creating YouTube channels and TikToks. This will be a good thing to do as well. Try a podcast, but plan it out so it can be very successful. Don't just jump right into it, okay? So go ahead and check this out. Share this video to somebody that you think would be beneficial to this, and I'll see you on the next video.